Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, here with your Wisdom Roadmap for February 10th through 16th. This is for those of you who are in the Patreon coaching, spiritual coaching level that I have. And so I want to share with you what we have going on this week. I think that it's safe to say it's pretty uneventful. Well, let me not say uneventful. It's not earth-shattering, but there's a little energy going on this week. So let me start off here with the overview. You can see that we are going to look at what's speaking in the Metu Neter, the Mayan Oracle, pathway support. So this Sebek negative, I actually never really have 3 cards. Typically it's either 2 or 1. But as you can see here, I have 3. And it was something about the way I picked up these 2 cards that I decided to just keep them all. I pulled Sebek and sort of picked up Nekabet, and I just said, I'm just going to go on ahead and keep them both. And so since I saw this negative energy, and what does negative mean again? It means that it's challenging energy. I decided to pull a pathway support just to kind of give us a little extra positive reinforcement for how to handle, the challenging energy for this week. And with the Astro Wisdom, like I said, this week may be a little more shaky than last week because 2 planets are changing signs. So whenever a planet changes sign, it creates a shift, especially in what we're focused on. So I want to make sure I touch on that for you all too, as always. I did put down, take notes. I sometimes say things that aren't on the slides. So just, you may hear me say something that's not there that you may want to take note of. So here we have the spiritual wisdom from the Oracle. So again, I like going over the, just giving a spiritual word so that we have something to chew on. This is what has worked for me. And so that's my goal with you all in the inner circle, be it at, the levels that don't get the spiritual coaching or those that do. My goal is to share with you all everything that I have used that works for me, and also to discover new things or to discover deeper levels of understanding. Okay. So these readings, again, I just want to emphasize, are more about our growing, our developing, and not just about doing. You remember last week we had an energy that talked about the need for us to be, to not do so much, to take time out to unplug from the world and to go within. And so that's really what these are about. We want to go within. We want to have a deeper understanding of spiritual wisdom so that we can take it within and, use it to go deeper as well as to develop, to release. We don't want to just be getting wisdom to do something with. It's about bringing it in to our consciousness and allowing the wisdom to work its medicine within our soul. Because we know what we experience within is what we're going to experience without. If you haven't looked at the abundance course that I posted for you all, please make sure to check that out because we definitely talked about that in the abundance course. So the Metu Neter is, well, I didn't put Nekabet negative up there, but it's supposed to be up there. Haru positive, Sebek negative. So this energy of Haru, it largely goes with that full moon eclipse that we had in Leo. So this week is a time for us to work on our inner confidence, There's going to be a moon in Leo this week, so that will be a good time to look at where do you lack confidence and where do you need to be more confident within yourself. A lot of times we need to have more confidence in our gifts and our talents. So that's an area that you can easily start with. This is also the energy of Shango. And what does Shango say? Shango is the ruler, the leader. This is the Leo, the ruler, the leader. And so what we're wanting to do is to make sure that we have a strategy. What is your strategy? So again, this could be general, or maybe there's something in particular that you need to have a strategy about. So you want to think about what is your strategy? What are you going to do? Maybe there's a problem that you need solved. What is your strategy? I am finding that because I'm doing all of these readings and I'm using the wisdom myself, that I am getting better at strategizing. And so, looking at the transits and just sort of thinking about what energy, it helps me to make decisions, because this is what Haru says. It says choose. You need to choose what you're going to do. There's nothing you have to do. But choosing is also about strategy. And so when I have a strategy, when I know what the strategy is, it gives me the ability to make choices instead of just operating from this default place of, our conditioned state. So Haru is all about getting out of the conditionings. But your conditionings may come up. You may need to be looking at your conditionings. And it may be more the Sebek negative. It may be more about conditionings regarding the mind. What are your thought patterns that keep you doing the same thing day in and day out, not making forward progress? So that's one way of thinking about it. Also, your conditionings are how we have sort of been a certain way all the time, and we just think that's who we are. But is it really? So this is another time for us to really look at our conditionings and choose, do we want to continue this, or do we want to choose a new way? And the new way should be based on higher wisdom. It should be based on higher truths, because oftentimes we have limiting beliefs. And so look at your limiting beliefs this week and look at how those limiting beliefs are making you act. If you chose a different belief, would you act differently? Would you get closer to the goal that you say you want in your life, but you have not yet achieved? So strategy, choosing, conditionings, looking at your limited beliefs, these are all things that Haru Shango says. Something that is in alignment with the abundance course is we talk about willpower. I think I even mentioned Haru Shango being a part of our ability to manifest. And that is because what this energy teaches and how it works within us is it's all about understanding that we're consciousness. This is how willpower works. We're consciousness. We plant the seed of intention in our inner being, our consciousness. And through our focus on those thoughts and our emotions about what it is that we want, those seeds that we're planting, and even maybe taking some action, we will be able to manifest that which we say we want. Sometimes it's not about, I'm going to work so hard. Most of the time, it's not about that. Though Capricorn is calling us to work hard. Capricorn is calling us to work hard based on our strategy. And the strategy will be shown to us as we envision the goal that we have in mind, begin with the end in mind. So when we begin with the end in mind, we're planting the seeds, we're excited about where we're headed and where we're going. The strategy will reveal itself. And all we got to do is take action. Yeah, we might have to work a little hard. We might have to put some, muscle into it, elbow grease. But chewing is calling us that. Enjoy that. Some people enjoy working hard. I love working hard when it's purposeful. Again, we're tying it into the higher wisdom for this year. And this is Capricorn. And so some people with this Capricorn energy, they all about the hard work. Okay? So we want to enjoy the hard work because we know it's taking us to where we want to go. Okay? So with the Sebek energy and even the Nekhbet, which I didn't put on here, but as y'all can see right here, Nekhbet. This energy is, especially the Sebek, it's about the mind. And I find it so interesting that Sebek spoke as well as Chuan. This is the same energy, and Mercury is one of the planets that's changing signs this week. So this energy of Sebek, Chuan, Mercury, also Eshu Alegua, is predominant this week. And so we want to work on our communication. With Sebek speaking, it's that we may find communication a little bit of a struggle this week. But we can choose to have positive communication. When we see the communication is not profitable, it's not taking us to where we want to go, we can choose to not continue with that conversation. So definitely watch your communication. Make sure that, another thing about communication is I'm hearing one thing and you're saying something different. And again, when we think about our beliefs color what we hear. I think about this when it comes to things that are regarding racism. Sometimes I am ultra sensitive, and it's because of the coloring that I have. This conditioning and just is based on previous experiences. So this is all Haru Shango. It's all based on previous experiences. Sometimes it's hard for me to hear what I perceive to be racism, or I may see this thing as racist. Okay? It might actually be racist, or I might actually just be hearing it with my sensitive African American ears, And I say that because I have friends who are from other countries, but they are Afro, and sometimes they don't hear what I hear. It's really fascinating. My friends from other cultures have taught me quite a bit. That's not to say that they are the authority on my experience, but it's interesting to see people of African descent with different ways of seeing the world. And so we have to just remember our conditionings, our experiences. Sometimes maybe we can't hear what the other person is really saying because we're not hearing it with pure ears. And this is what could come up this week. Sometimes it's I'm saying one thing, and as Chris Tucker said, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? They're not hearing us right. Maybe their ears are colored, or their ears are colored. They can't hear for their conditionings. So we just want to watch our communications. This may be a time to avoid social media. I'm on a social media fast. It's not pure because I work on social media, but I tell myself no scrolling. So if I catch myself scrolling, it's like, oh, no scrolling. You only come on to work, okay? And for those of us that need social media or have to do communication for business, we just need to make sure that we're very clear. Because if you have a business, there's no escaping social media. And so we need to be cautious of that, because there is something that I put with the Mercury moving into Pisces. It actually could be a good social media time because it's very creative. But Pisces is about the illusion. So again, even still with the social media, those of us that need it for business, we just want to be careful and make sure that we're very clear about what we're putting out, and just be clear about it. This is a time where we want to look at our mental health, period. We really need to focus on the mind. So affirmations is something that Sebek speaks to. Also working with your nervous system. You really want to do things that keep your nervous system soothed. It could be that you feel like your nervous system is out of whack, out of kilter. You know, it's already a little bit amped up with this Mercury and Aquarius energy, but the Mercury going into Pisces, it's just going to be a whole nother different feel, because Pisces is like the ocean. It's nondescript, you know? And it may actually be a good time for soothing our nervous system, but we can do things in our lives to keep our nervous system soothed. Like, you know, I'm using a salt lamp, essential oils, and actually staying off social media, not looking at news, avoiding conversations that irk the fire out of me. I'm just giving you examples in my life. You can, you know, determine what this means in your life. Do yoga. Yoga is one of the best ways to soothe the nervous system. Deep yogic breathing, doing mindfulness, bringing yourself present and in the moment. These are all things we can do to soothe the nervous system. So that's so important. You want to affirm the positive. Don't affirm negative things. Okay. So how do we affirm negative things? We think about them. I watch my words. This is a time to really watch what you say. You know how we talk about the words have the power to heal or kill. You know, they can speak life or they can speak death. And so, like, I was making a post earlier about going to the physical therapist, and I wanted to put, my physical therapist is giving me hope that I could live pain free. And I said, nah, I'm not going to put pain free, because see, the word pain is in there. My physical therapist is giving me hope that I can live feeling good. So that's an example of a different way of phrasing things. You know, it's giving us an opportunity to reframe things this week. So affirmations, affirming the positive. I've told y'all we need to be putting in these meditations that have these affirmations that we can listen to, because our mind will grasp on to whatever we put in there. Whatever you put in there, your mind is going to grab a hold of it. Our mind is pliable. Okay, this is one of the reasons that Gemini is the way that it is. It's mercurial, it's pliable, it's mutable. All right, so it's Virgo actually, which is ruled by Mercury. So protect your energy. That is the energy of Nekabet. Again, I'll show y'all right here. So Nekabet is about being psychically sensitive, but with Nekabet, we might be picking up on everybody else's stuff. With it being negative, we might be picking up on everybody else's stuff. We're not doing what it takes to keep ourselves balanced, to stay clear about what our energy is, and we're picking up everybody else's emotions, their thoughts. We're hearing it all, we're feeling it all, we're sensing it all, we're feeling it in the world. I know I am. The other day I thought I was gonna have a nervous breakdown because they're clearing trees to build some bull crap in my city. Thought I was gonna have a nervous breakdown. I was like, I hate being this way, but I can't help it. It disturbs me so much to see these trees coming down, you know? And so it's like, okay, I have to do deep yogic breathing and look at the trees that are still there. Go freaking plant a tree, donate to the Arbor Day Society, you know, do something. But the other thing about this is, if we allow our psychic immunity to get low, then we may end up with viruses, you know, bacterial, viral, you know, infections and stuff like that. So we really and truly want to be cautious of what we're picking up, what colors we're wearing. We want to clear the clutter in our homes, in our businesses, our offices, cars, all of that. We want to clear the clutter. And then the last thing I wanted to say about this is, let's see here, protect your energy. Maybe it'll come back to me. I forgot. So the Mayan Oracle Chewin, this is about our inner child. It's about having fun. And it's about connecting with our inner child in order to be able to open ourselves up to what it is that we want to do. Our inner child is, if it's clear and it's healed, it's what gives us the belief that we actually can. You know, it's so Pisces-like, in my opinion, when we start thinking about our inner child. It allows us to be vulnerable. Vulnerability allows us to be open to something new. Our inner child allows us to be open to the magic, to believe what we want that can't yet be seen, you know, even though it may seem crazy. Our inner child, you think about children, they don't even really question a whole lot. They just can sort of go with. Now, if they're 8, they might be questioning. That's the age where they question. But in general, when we think about our inner child, our children are so resilient, and they have the ability to just keep going, to just keep believing. And children are always about the fun. I love it when I see an adult who's really in touch with their inner child. Having children allowed me to do this. I was so serious. I grew up the superhero child. I was so serious growing up because that's what my home life, like, that's how I was able to cope with, you know, this rough childhood that I had, or the rough aspects of my childhood. And then once I had children, and then being married to my crazy husband, I learned how to chill out a little bit. So yeah, y'all, we need to have some fun. And maybe even go hang out with our children where we're just having pure fun. And we're wanting to look to see how can we have more fun, even, you know, with all this hard work we have to do. The pathways is about stability. So what do children need? Children need stability. Even if they buck up against it, they say, I don't want it. Most kids will tell you in the deepest recesses of their hearts, we love stability. We love structure because it allows us to trust our surroundings. We want to be able to trust our surroundings. And so if we let ourselves just operate in chaos, which was, I think, what spoke last week, if we're allowing ourselves to operate in chaos, we can't trust that we're going to get things done. We just really can't trust ourselves day to day. We get nowhere. So consistency and trust. Now, the other thing about trust is, and what I wanted to tell y'all that has come back to my mind, is I made a video called The Wisdom of the Wisdom. And so the wisdom of the wisdom is all about trusting that even though we don't really like what's coming down the pipeline, it'll be okay. So this is what stability is saying. You got to have trust. You have to trust the process. You have to trust spirit, whatever's coming down the line. And one of the things I want to let you all know, who, you know, those of you in the coaching phase of what I offer, is that I'm going, this month's class is going to be on intuition. And it's so perfect that Mercury is going into Pisces. And this pathway stability, it really speaks to part of what helps us to develop our intuition. You have to be able to trust your intuition. You have to trust spirit, because sometimes spirit will call you to do something. You're like, why spirit asking me to turn right? And I know it's left. If spirit says turn right, turn right. Who knows why? You may not even find out that day why you're supposed to turn right. But this is what we're being called to do this week. We're needing to understand that I just got to trust it. I've got to trust it. I will be consistent in what I do from day to day. This is Capricorn. This is what Capricorn is all about. Also, we need to continue to bring closure. Maybe you need to bring closure to something you've been working on. Or maybe you need to bring closure to something that happened in your childhood and you're like, you know what? I'm really on the brink of just actually being over this thing. I'm going to bring closure to it. And a good time to bring closure to things is during the waning moon phase. So just right past the full moon. So how will you use this wisdom and the current transits to restructure your life? Because that's what we're doing this year. We're restructuring. Y'all, we're not doing the same old, same old. We're not just sticking with what we have always done. We are being called to do a new thing, and that is because we want a new thing. You can't keep getting you can't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. And so not only are we going to change the structure of how we operate, we are literally restructuring all aspects of ourselves. And so how will you use the current transits to restructure your life and have fun at the same time? How about this? Laugh a little bit, even at the little things that happen where you're like, what the frick? It's like going to the skating rink and falling down. Instead of being embarrassed, having a nice roaring laugh. Astro wisdom. Ooh. Okay, so this week, Astro wisdom. Where are we? Okay, so like I said, this week is quite active because planets are changing signs. So thankfully, the good news is it's not a lot going on. So we can accommodate the energy shifts without being tossed too much to and fro. Mercury moves into Pisces on February the 10th, which means our mental focus, wherever Mercury goes, our mental focus is shifting, is changing. And so our minds are going to be on all things Pisces. And as you can see, I've listed here, you're going to focus on, or this is what Pisces is about: creativity, spirituality, self-care, community service, intuition, also your guides, because Pisces is about the unseen. And so again, intuition and guides. Pisces is about intuition and guides. If you know people with a lot of Pisces energy, I'm one of these people. We just know things without knowing how we know, and they're exactly right. So again, I'm so excited that we're doing this class on intuition and doing it during a time where Mercury is in Pisces, because Mercury is about communication, and that's what intuition is about. So this is a time where you can begin to really connect with intuition and your guides, because Pisces is about what's unseen. And a lot of times those of us with Pisces energy will talk about, well, I have a guide or guides and I just kind of hear from them, ancestors, all that. Pisces is all about the music, arts, imagination, vacation, getting away. So though we've been sort of like wanting to socialize in Aquarius, the sun moves into Pisces on the 19th, I think it is, 18th. And so we'll start feeling like we may want to retreat a little bit. So that's something else. And you'll be thinking about, I want to go on vacation. I just want to get away. I just want to be by myself. Pisces is also about foreign travels. You may go across the ocean. Maybe you want to think about that. But things to be careful of is like losing things, because Pisces is about dissolution. So sometimes you can lose things, you can forget. Also, Pisces is about an illusion. So you have to be careful to not be conned and swindled during this time. Don't con and swindle yourself. You know, the energy of Sebek right here, it's about rationalizations. Don't be making don't be rationalizing what you need to do. You just need to be honest about what you're doing. Don't make rationalizations. Don't be using no faulty logic, some Pisces logic that doesn't make any sense. We're not having that this week, okay? We're not having that this month. Well, Mercury is in Pisces. Yeah, Mercury will be in Pisces actually for a while, because I put here, it actually will go retrograde. the first time in this sign. Mercury's going to retrograde in all the water signs this year. So I'm a little terrified because I have Pisces and Scorpio energy, but whatever. I'll survive. Getting lost in your thoughts. You may get lost in your thoughts quite a bit. Forgetfulness. Indulging in addictions, because Pisces a lot of times has to do with addictions. So, and but it also could be a time where you are able to like really think about your addictions and come up with a new game plan, especially while it's retrograde. How can I move past this addiction? And Haru Shango, I see that energy to a certain degree as energy that it's addictive energy. It's addictive energy. I honor the energy of Shango. Shango is my father, Orisha. So I say this humbly, but sometimes people with a lot of Shango energy, you'll find they have addictions. And it's just one of the lessons. It's a path to healing and evolution. People with Pisces energy may deal with addictive behavior. And so during that retrograde, it'll be a great time to sort of maybe revisit, how the heck can I get out of this thing? Or if you've gotten out of it and you kind of fell back into it, what worked to get you out, and recommit to that. This is an excellent sign for people involved in creative or spiritual endeavors. It's just going to be a great channeling energy. February the 13th is an alert. Mars conjunct or next to Uranus is very important to take care and watch moving too fast without first thinking. You don't want to be impulsive. You could experience quick and sudden change. It all depends on where it is in your chart too. But in general, I just sort of feel these transits, when I know about them, it's no telling how it's going to show up. But definitely you want to be careful to not be rushing too much, or to just be more aware. Don't let your mind be floating too much. Because sometimes this energy can be like accident prone energy. And also it could be a time where if you have to be super enthusiastic about something, that could be a good time for that. Also, feelings of independence can be high during this time. You just want to get free. You want to be independent. And that's just how it's going down. Everybody leave me alone. I'm about to do me. February the 14th. I didn't even think about that's Valentine's Day. Mars moves into Taurus. And it's sort of cool, actually, because Taurus is this lovey-lovey energy. I know Taurus gets a bad rap, but what I want people to understand is if you know somebody has a sun in Taurus, they have an ascendant somewhere, they have a moon, they have a Mercury, a Mars, a Saturn, a Jupiter. They have planets in other parts of their chart. Stop talking about Taurus, because you may be thinking it's a Taurus, but really this person is operating from the place of, maybe they have a Pluto somewhere and they acting real Pluto-ish. Okay? So y'all leave Taurus alone, because Taurus actually is beautiful energy. It's ruled by Venus, Oshun. Okay, this energy is like chill. Like, I don't feel like arguing with y'all, but it is about the money. But it's about, Taurus is a lovey-lovey type energy, So it's just sort of cool that Mars is moving into Taurus on the 14th, on a day that we sort of associate with love in this culture. Well, some of us do. I know a lot of y'all watching this probably don't care about it like me. I don't knock it, though. If you like it, I don't knock it. So wherever Mars moves, it's like our area of action. We're focusing our action. We're wanting to take action in this area. The only thing about Mars moving into Taurus is your action may be slowed down a little bit, because Taurus is like slow and methodical. They talk about, oh, it's bullheaded. Well, that's because Taurus is like, hey, I need to like scope this thing out. Take my time. It's a fixed sign, and it's Earth. Okay. It brings Lord, I hadn't even made the connection. It brings stability. This is where we will find some stability working with this energy of Taurus. If you have planets in Taurus, get ready. You about to get some action going. But yeah, Taurus keeps us stable. That being tossed to and fro. Taurus is like, no, I'm not going to let people do that to you. I will be that steady rock in your life. I will be that steady presence in your life. And so we have this energy of stability, but also earthiness and self-care. We want to focus on self-worth, self-value, and even look at our money. You know, it could be things coming up regarding finances, money, all that kind of good stuff. Simple indulgences, simple pleasures. And this is sort of like maybe how we can channel this chewing energy. We can channel it through this Mars and Taurus by doing things to care for ourselves, as well as just like taking time to eat that favorite food that we like, or going to get some super healthy food and just really taking in like the good energy and vibes of that food. That's that neck of bed energy I was talking about, really being sensitive to the energy around us. And so doing that with food is something that that we can do. Or taking luxurious baths is a really earthy, sensual sign. You may want to feel a little, you may feel a little sexual, but in a sensual, you may feel more sensual. Be sensual with yourself, okay? That's so important. Avoid overindulgence in the good life, but definitely take time to take care of yourself, okay? The lunar eclipse is triggered on February the 15th by Mars. So whatever came up for you at the Leo eclipse in January, it could come back up for you on the 15th, okay? So that's just something to think about on the 15th. If you're feeling like you're revisiting something, that may be the case. Lunar wisdom, February the 10th. We start the day in Aries and move into Taurus. So we're going to feel like we want to get some things done. And then by the end of the day, we may go into the self-care that I was talking about. Taurus also has to do with history. So you may, because this is a time for us to be working with our ancestors this month. So you may be feeling like, yeah, I want to do some work with my ancestors, family in general. Then on the 13th, the moon moves into Gemini. So this is all about the mind. And it's great for mental work, social media. It's going to be a good day for communication. So this is a really good day to work our Sebek chewing, have some fun. Also, it's about networking. And if you need to tweak something, Gemini is really good. Energy is really good with like looking at something and improving it. So this is a day where if you sort of feel like, I need to tweak maybe my goals list, or I was working on a campaign or a project, I want to use this day to really see how can I improve it. That would be good. On the 15th, the moon is in Leo. It is a day of energy and confidence. This is a day that we can really work with this Haru Shango energy. You can also really work your art. You know, Haru Shango works with the drum, the rhythms. So really listening to drumming, dancing to drumming, going to a drum class, that would be good when the moon is in Leo. Also, give yourself an atta-girl or atta-boy. Pat yourself on the back for a job well done. Why do we always beat ourselves up? This is important with this Capricorn energy, because Capricorn is like, you're going to get this done. You know, Capricorn is not happy until the job is done. So along this path of this hard work that Capricorn has us doing, every time the moon is in Leo, we're going to pat ourselves on the back for what we have done, even though we may not let Capricorn hear us doing that too much, because Capricorn will tell us to get back to work. So a bonus that I wanted to give to everybody is to plan for Mercury retrograde. Think about what you need to review and revisit in the area of Pisces, because the shadow period is starting on the 19th of February, which is not until next week, and it'll be through March 4th. And that shadow period will kind of show you what it is that you really want to be thinking about. But I just believe in, we know it's coming. So let's take the time to really think about how do we want to maximize this energy and do it from a place of intentionality. So remedies and practices that I wanted to put up for you all. Um, the goddess is, oh, I put goddesses because I was thinking I was going to put another goddess, but it turns out it's just Oya. Ooh, Oya will not leave us alone. Oya is not playing with us. We need to work with Oya. Oya is of the waning moon phase. She's about releasing and transformation, radical change. Okay? But she really doesn't want to come through like a tornado. She actually would prefer if you would just listen to what she's told you to change and freaking change it. Revisit your new moon intentions and take action during this waxing moon phase. Okay, revisit your new moon intentions, take action during the waxing moon. So that's this time leading up to the full moon. The full moon is going to be on the 19th in Virgo. So that's something to be thinking about, because the next time I post this will be just going in, or the next weekly that I post will be going into that full moon phase. So you want to see, can you manifest something for that full moon? Journal, especially to process childhood pain or issues that need releasing. Journaling is always in order. Protect your energy. These are ways you can do it. Smudging, crystals, essential oils, anything that helps you to not absorb other people's energy. The other way I could have said it is to release other people's energy too, because I'm actually trying to not absorb people's energy. I've been putting up energetic fields around me. I use shea butter, and so like if I go and teach, put a lot of shea butter on me so that I can just go and teach. And I don't mind sharing my shea, but I really don't want to be picking up on too much stuff from people. People bring their energy to class to sort of leave it, and that's a good thing. And I just want to make sure I'm not picking it up. So I don't know what that means for you in your world. Maybe it's just going to the grocery store. So, and this is a week where you might start moving into that place of just sort of feeling like, dang, I just feel like I want to be by myself. You know, this hanging out Aquarius energy is going to start waning. Meditation and mindful practices and breath work are key. They always are, actually. Okay. But they really help us to balance our energy, to release as we need to get focused. They actually bring stability to our inner beingness. So this is so important. Develop an affirmation practice, because we're being called to heal our minds. Stop having so much thinking. Continue to have a daily gratitude practice. I would like to hear how y'all are doing with that. How's it working out? For me, my gratitude practice is making me start the day off with a better perspective, because I do it before I get out of bed. I try to be thankful all day long, but I do it before my feet hit the bed. I thank, I give thanks for my life in general, different things or whatever. And it just makes me feel like I can do this. The affirmation from Chuan of the Mayan Oracle, this came from the Mayan Oracle. It is not mine. I am innocent, I am an innocent, open-hearted, transparent, divine child. Doesn't that sound so precious? That's you. That's me. We need to affirm that. Okay. And look at, if we see ourselves that way, isn't that how we treat ourselves? Instead of looking at ourselves as this old bad child. Innocent, open-hearted, transparent, divine. How do we treat children like that? Better than we probably treat ourselves currently. Focus on our heart and our mental health when it comes to physical things. Outside of the breathing and the yoga, Haru is about the heart, the cardiovascular system, and Sebek is about mental health. So these are things that we can be doing all week long. Working on our cardiovascular. Maybe we need to get some cardiovascular in there. Maybe we need to take some supplements to help with bringing, I knew I was going to say now, with the Nekabet, you may find yourself experiencing depression, especially if you're not keeping your energy clear. And so we might want to do things to help us if we're experiencing too much depression. What can we do to move past that depression? And a lot of times we need to bolster our mental, our nervous system. I even believe in chiropractic if you're not opposed to it. Our elements are air, fire, earth, and wind. They're all in effect this week. So work with the one that's best for you. So on the 10th, that would be a day where you're working with fire and earth. On the 13th, you could work with air. On the 15th, you could work with fire. On the 10th, that could be air and water together. The 13th, fire and air. And on the 15th, fire and earth. So that was just a little quick explanation of those. So I wish you a positive week. Okay, thank you all so much. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will upload this document so that you can refer back to it into Patreon. You'll see it. It'll be attached to the video. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. Peace.